Let's talk about the Brontes, not one, but three women whose contributions to English literature became Victorian classics. But before Charlotte, Emily, and Anne penned their famous novels, these sisters wrote poetry. Based in Yorkshire in the early 1800s, the Bronte family were made up of 5 daughters and 1 son. When their mother died young, they were raised by an aunt and their father, an Anglican priest. His profession meant that the girls could be educated at a clergy daughters' school, but the benefit of this education came with the loss of 2 of the sisters during the typhoid outbreak. After that, all the children came home, were tutored by their father, and given time to freely explore his library. Home was a place where imagination was encouraged, entertaining each other with new characters and stories. Having experienced great loss, the art of writing at home turned into the business of published writing, with novels including Jane Eyre and Wuthering Heights. The stone tablet memorial for the Brontes was added to Poets' Corner in 1939, but because of the war, it wasn't formally dedicated until 1947. Along with their names, the memorial contains the phrase, "With courage to endure," taken from the final line of Emily's poem, The Old Stoic. And at the dedication service, Anne's hymn, "Believe not those who say the upward path is smooth," was sung. And what about Charlotte? She was the Bronte who wrote the most poetry. It was her discovery of her sister's poetry notebooks that led to their first published volume, paid for with their own money. And this was the first time they used their pseudonyms. Charlotte as Currer, Emily as Ellis, and Anne as Acton Bell, writing as men to avoid criticism focused on their gender. This was a real threat to their success. Years before, Charlotte had shared her poetry collection with soon-to-be poet laureate Robert Southey, also memorialised in the Abbey. He discouraged her potential to publish as a woman, writing back, "Literature cannot be the business of a woman's life, and it ought not to be." It was a letter Charlotte took to heart, writing on the original envelope that it should be kept forever. Charlotte moved away from poems, producing her most successful novel, Jane Eyre, in 1847. Then tragedy struck. 3 became 2, became 1, with Emily passing away in 1848, and Anne following her a year later. The last Bronte sister turned back to poetry, writing this poem full of emotion, grieving the loss of her sister.
There's little joy in life for me, and little terror in the grave. I've lived the parting hour to see of one I would have died to save, calmly to watch the failing breath, wishing each sigh might be the last, longing to see the shade of death all those beloved features cast, the clouds, the stillness that must part the darling of my life from me, and then to thank God from my heart, to thank him well and fervently, although I knew that we had lost the hope and glory of our life, and now benighted, tempest tossed, must bear alone the weary strife.